Hello everybody! As always, my name is Ran and I am bringing you a game of Arena. But this is a very special arena because today I'm going to be talking about and featuring a video against one of the first streamers that I have ever come across in the game. This streamer in particular, ProJared. And since I'm fighting against ProJared in this video, I might as well talk about how a person should interpret and handle fighting and playing against a person that is known in the community. Doesn't matter what community it is, whether it's the MOBA community itself, whether it's the games community for if it's something other than a MOBA, doesn't matter if it's the community for a certain type of a game, like the community for Dark Souls, or the community for something like the now defunct Dungeon Fighters Online, or PlanetSide 2. Doesn't really matter. Or if it's something as simple as a person who's known for marketing it and getting its name out there. I'm going to talk about how you should handle that, as well as what you should focus on when you're attempting to talk about that. Personally, there should never, ever be a case where you think to yourself, oh no, this person is too pro than I am, there's no way I can win! Because I can tell you right now, this match is going to be an exciting one because of how baffling of the back and forth it was. In particular, this match was difficult for me because of the fact that these guys were back and forth trolling each other in the pre-match lobby, and they weren't really focused about anything past what they were basically queuing about on a general basis. But a good portion of this match was difficult because of that, and because of the fact that they didn't understand about about focusing in the game and how to focus out people in fights and make sure they die. But to get to my point, when I realized I was playing against ProJared, it was actually in the middle of the match, more towards the past the 100, after the 100 mark of tickets, that I realized it, because somebody told me, oh look, it's ProJared. And the first thought I had when I heard that was, and? I'm being serious, folks. My first thought was, and? And the reason why I thought, and, was because, so what? So what if it was, ProJared? Because there have been times where I've played against and with other streamers before, but never recorded, this being the first recorded time. Before, I've played against Pon, I've played against Lassic, I've played against, give me a second. I have played against Zapman, I've played with Doom Princess, I've played with Dry Bear, and I've played with Mamacita. And I do believe when I was playing with Mamacita, she was streaming for the Smite's official Twitch channel. So there's been plenty of times where I've crossed paths with professionals. And there have been times where I've done work with other professionals. One that I can think of right off the top of my head is Lost Scarf. He himself is more semi-casual than anything else. But he was one of the few examples of people who did those types of things. And when I came across those guys, the first one who I thought that about was Zapman, because he was still in his quote-unquote Zapalo phase. And basically we lost the match, but I gave it my all because I was against somebody who I at the time thought was so good. And knowing that he's competitive, I thought I need to give it all my all, because I know that if I ever put down for even like 1 second, I'm not gonna win this match. And even though I gave my best, my team, the entire time, oh no! It's Zapman and the entire team! I couldn't! And they basically gave up and just let themselves die. Even one of our team fed himself to Zapalo because he was a fanboy. And after that match, Zap didn't say anything, but the other parts of his team, which I'm pretty sure were people from his competitive team, or something, but the team he was playing with, one of those guys were like, You guys are a bunch of noobs! And I'm not, it's just straight up, just, you guys are a bunch of fucking noobs. GG no re. That should never happen. Ever. Which is one of the better concerns that a person should have about a community. There should never be a time where a person should be able to say to someone, you're a fucking noob, you deserve to be this and deserve to be that and blah 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 blah. Because what made you special? And that's the exact thought that went through my head when I heard I was playing against ProJared, who, in this match, if you didn't notice, is the other tank, Ymir. I already know that being a person of that stature means that now people are going to be looking at you like, oh my god, this guy played this bad and he got all this stuff, oh my god, he's so bad, he's so bad. And that's the public opinion. But I know, in the, not public opinion, but in the professional opinion, that it's a thing that you have to get used to. Because that's something that a lot of people like talking about, and like making a problem about. Yet, it's never really discussed, because people don't want to discuss it. They want to make it an issue. More often than not. But, more to my point, it should never be a thing where somebody says, oh, you're this, oh, you're that. Should never be a thing. But, yeah, in this match, it was a thing for me because I am streaming, or I was recording, and I was about to stream, and I do believe I streamed that one to the channel, but it was a thought that passed through my mind. I didn't think it was that important in the match to be like, oh, it's ProJared. I gotta put my tryhard panties on. I just played like I normally would play. And I do believe that I did very well, despite whatever he might have been thinking. Because at a point, somebody on the team says that Jared just gave up at a point. I'm not sure who it was, but yeah. If you do what you know how to do, and you follow through, you should not have a problem with anything. Doesn't matter who you're playing against. Especially if it's a Smite, moderator, or if it's a Smite employee. And by Smite, I mean high-res. Because they're not gods. They're not these godly people who are, oh, they have plays on plays on plays for the plays because they have plays from the plays for the plays because they plays. No, they're people. They're people, they make mistakes, they make oversights, they make over-grievances, they get confident, they get cocky. I myself included. I'm no different.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill. An ally has been slain. Slain an enemy. Thanks.
But, moving on, the other thing that I wanted to talk about on top of that, on how you should handle it, the only other thing I have to talk about is focus. And by focus, I mean the focus of making sure a person in a team composition is completely negated in fights by focusing them out before they ever have a chance to get away. Now, in this fight, the person who I had to worry about wasn't Jared and his stuns, because as a tank, Ymir is very manageable. If he's on point with his walls, sure, he can be a problem, especially if he uses them for the 3-1-4 combo. But normally, not really a problem. Same thing with everybody else on the team. There's not really much they can do other than just throw damage at me, for the sake of damage. Sun Wukong could be a worry, but saying that Sun Wukong wasn't building for magical protection until a little bit later, or even if he did at all, it's not that much of a problem. The person I have to worry about is Anubis, who, because I have to start off by building physical protection so that I can get cooldowns, along with the other things that I work for, is a person who can instantly cancel out anything I can do in a fight by focusing me out by using his ultimate directly on top of me while I'm in my ultimate. Despite the fact that I have Bancroft's talent as an item, all it takes for Anubis to get rid of me is to just get me in a stun and do exactly what he's about to do right there. Just get me in a stun, or attack me while I'm already attacking someone else, and easily get damage for the sake of damage. That's all he has to do to negate me in a fight. As you saw there, I went from moderately about, I want to say 90, 95 health, all the way down to dead. Or just about, with one last hit being put in by Apollo in the back. That's all he has to do. And the reason why is because, for tanks, when they build to do what they're supposed to do, when they get that Breastplate of Valor, when they get that Boots of Focus so that they can have some magical power, and it works for their cooldown speed and cooldown reduction, they have to worry about getting cooldowns in. And in a build that would focus on protections and cooldown, they would inherently be more squishable, more vulnerable to the power of mages. And because the mages are the more focused part in builds of traditional types or mage-eccentric builds, mage-eccentric spreads rather, like the one that we currently are dealing with our own side, with our Chang'e and Ao Huang, and their Freya and Anubis. In a mage-centric build, the mages would have to focus me out, which they do. However, they're not all good about it. But again, it doesn't take much to get rid of Hades, especially when Anubis is the person who I have to worry about. He has no way of getting out of my ultimate, sure, but he steals protections, and all he has to do to get rid of me is to start getting his Sorrow in. If he's able to get in Sorrows, he can make himself very capable of killing me, which he does, by doing exactly what I said he would already do to get that done, which is using his Death Gaze to sap my protections with his passive, and all of the heavy damage that it does to be able to make sure that he can kill me. All of that and more. All of these things. But because people may not understand about how swap focus works, it's simple enough to understand once you can understand it. Swap focus is literally a term that is used in a MOBA community, or is used in a technical theory crafter's handbook of how to speak about something. When you want to talk about something that is important to a team's tactics, which I guess in order to talk about, you need to talk a little bit more about tactics and strategy. Quite simply, without all of the run around the bush, strategy is what you do before the match. Tactics is what you do in the match. Quite simply. So, when a person needs to swap focus, they will start playing with tactics to attack a person when they show up, or when they start attempting to do something, so that they will immediately be negated and will be killed. For example, Anubis attempts to focus me out more often, so to make sure that I have the crowd control focus that I would need to get out of certain things, I build Hide of the Leviathan. And I tell the team, hey, before you do anything else, focus out Anubis. And they continued to go about not doing that. So I made it a very anal point about it, and I was very anal about it, to the point that Kali wanted to accuse me of bad-mouthing and bad manners, which I wasn't. It was simple things that needed to be done. Then they did also have a problem of sitting in the back sidelines, waiting for things to happen instead of making plays, which is another thing that you shouldn't do and should never have as a thing. But, to my point, because Anubis wanted to sit in the back, and because Anubis was only ever attacking me once I had gone in, I told them, do not do anything until Anubis is dead. Make sure Anubis is focused out. Jump on Anubis. Get Anubis dead. Kill him immediately. Immediately after we did that, and every time from forward onto, we were able to pin our kills. At least 2 kills a time. Some very powerful Freya jukes right there. But as you can see, the allies had trouble just simply doing what needed to be done. In that case, they were doing stuff. And the stuff didn't make much sense, but they were doing stuff. In this case, I was waiting for them to attack Freya while they were doing stuff trying to focus on getting back together. But it wasn't helping. And because they did that last second to attack Sun Wukong, they came back, and I was wiped. Not good tactics, but it got the job done for what needed to happen. But away from that, as we started getting closer and closer to the 100 ticket mark point of the match, this is where it started getting a little bit more ridiculous with our strategy and our tactic. Because apparently my team thought that, oh, just do stuff? Okay. Because up here, they're messing around with the tank, which is something you don't do. You don't mess with the tank. You go after the softies, because the tank is only distracting. And again, another case of how do you take Hades out of ultimate when he's CC immune, being very apparent. But here in this case, a very good example of stuff. When he was engaging me with his stun, and while I was being attacked, they were in the back, not attacking them. And it was only after I died that they began to do something to stop them from getting away with a free kill.
An enemy has been slain.
That, logically to me, does not make sense. Because in no fight should a person easily be able to do one thing or another
Be right back.
and be able to walk away with a kill. I mean, if a person takes a kill, they go down, and you make up for it. Here, we have people who are actively not going after things unless they specifically are getting the kill themselves. And we are going out of our way to make sure we can stick said kills on people as we need to stick kills on people. While I'm actively attempting to assist my team to help them to stick these kills on people, and actively giving them covers so that they can get away when they cannot stick a kill, so that they can stay alive, they don't seem to take advantage of it. They don't do what could be done to fully attack them and make full use of what they could do, but instead go about something. Not quite sure what it was, but for what we needed, it wasn't what we needed. Or was the exact opposite of what we needed. Another case right here of what I was talking about, of them not taking advantage of that tactics that I was giving them about focusing out Anubis. Anubis is all the way over here, right? And here I am, over here. And leading the fight, my team is directly behind me, like they should be, right? Right. And we're all up here in this fight, while I'm trying to look for an opening to try to focus Anubis and these other guys down. Now, take a good look at where I am, and then where my team is. Logic. It was not present. But again, perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is what normally happens in more matches that I have witnessed, and more matches that I have seen recorded and posted on sites than anywhere else. People are doing things, the tank is doing things, the tank is making bait, the tank is pulling bait, the tank is doing everything possible to make things happen. The tank is doing something, anything, to try to make it so that the team can win, the team can do something or other to make things better for the team as a whole. But individuals on the team decide to leave the tank or the person who's making a play out there on their own, assuming that things are going to be fine, and then they end up not being. That's just my viewpoint on it, and that's just my personal and professional opinion on it. But, as always, this is the end of the video, even though I like all of you guys very, very much, as we're making movements and motions here at BonuStage Entertainment, this is time to go. So, until next time, well, for BonuStage Entertainment, I'm Ran, and I will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody!